expanding on what Glenn says, I want to talk to you a little bit about your relationships, your families. You know, one of the big things that is one of my missions and what we try to bring through on the show, and we always talk about it, is we are truly not victims here. And part of the problem with a lot of organized religion and the consciousness of the planet right now is that people are in a consciousness of they're victims. We're victims of everything. We're victims of the family we're born into. We're victims of the bad first husband we married and the boss that fired us and all of these things. And what I would like to suggest to you to think about, because it's the key to having peace and understanding why really bad things happen to really good people sometimes for no reason at all. Bad things happen to all of us, to every one of us in different ways. Sometimes, and I put bad in quotes too because it's not truly bad, but what we perceive as bad. Sometimes our pain is very obvious and there for everybody to see, and sometimes we walk around with personal pain. We know that because we're always reading for people, so we know what's inside of people that other people are not aware of on the surface. But everything that you experience in life has one purpose only, and that's for you to learn. We come here to learn. This is literally like a metaphorical 4 years away at college. That's home. You're there, you're feeling great. You design your coursework. You say, I'm going to study this and I'm going to study that. I'm going to take this class and major in that. And then you pick your teachers. And guess what? Your teachers are your family, your relationship, the people you work with. So even your antagonists, even the mother-in-law that drives you crazy, even the father that was impossible to please, all of those negative scenarios that you grow up with trying to overcome are not there to beat you down. They're not there for you to feel unloved and neglected. They're there for you to learn. And maybe if you have a really, really critical parent that never approved of you, your lesson is actually self-love, learning to love yourself, even if other people aren't supporting you. You know, I deal so much with addiction scenarios, you know, and I know that these people that I'm reading for sometimes are on the spirit side as a result of their addiction, sometimes are in front of me. They come in with that. They come in with the body chemistry set up. They come in with a family lineage of alcoholism that's been passed down 3-4 generations or more. And we know that before we're born. We pick our parents. If you don't like your parents, guess what? You picked them. But you did. And you picked them for a reason. You picked them to learn something. And you come here to overcome and rise above. And that's the part of our human spirit and the spiritual part of why we come in. So when you're in those scenarios with those people that are really difficult in your life, you know, detach a little and step back. And it helps me to think, what is this person trying to teach me right now? You know, are they trying to teach me to stand up for myself, to set boundaries, to love myself, to approve of myself? You know, anybody that knows me very well, and I write a little bit about it on my website, is I grew up in a family that is very much not supportive of this. I have an extremely religious Baptist mother who doesn't even discuss it with me. And on my father's side, I had a mentally ill father who was diagnosed with schizophrenia. He was actually hospitalized for hearing voices and seeing people that aren't there. Imagine that. My mother was one of the people that helped commit him. Well, back in the 70s, what did they know? You know, they put you on a bunch of antipsychotic drugs. And, you know, so talk about overcoming some obstacles. I was terrified to tell anybody who I was or what I could do because either I was the devil reincarnated or I was crazy, you know. So, but I remember growing up thinking, what a curse. Why am I in this family? You know, how could you do this to me? But now I know, you know, it was a wonderful education because my mother allows me to be able to speak to a broad variety of people because I understand where people are coming from. I grew up in that consciousness. I get it, you know. And my father, bless his soul, who was mentally ill, actually helped me to realize that I'm not crazy, you know, because I could see the difference between mentally ill and actually really being a medium. So keep that in mind. You know, we all have things in our families, but they're all here to teach you. And if you can figure out the lesson in the relationship, you're on your way to getting out of the victim's consciousness and becoming more empowered and changing your life.
It's great what Denise said. And also, it's really important, self-love, because they say the first love and the last love of our lives is ourselves. We're always looking to someone else to love us, which is normal. We want, like, Denise and I put all our love in the room to each of you. We know that you're putting all your love to us as well. And a lot of people look for this self-validation. How do I look? What do you think of my shoes? What do you think of my hair? we should never really even be concerned. It's the same thing with, if I ask people, what do you think that I'm a medium? You know, I don't care what people think in that sense. This is who I am. This is part of me. You like it? Great. You don't? That's fine too. But we all want that self-validation. You know, we all want that, like, you know, how do I look? Okay. And even I'm prone to it. But I think it's so important that we sometimes seek someone else out in a relationship to love us because we feel empty, whether it comes from our family background or previous relationships that didn't work out that great. And every relationship I've learned from every girlfriend I've ever had is now looking back on it, and that I can thank each of them, even in my mind. Even if I don't see them or speak to them anymore, I can bless them and say thank you for the experience, that I learned something, whether it was a positive one or not such a positive one. This way, it opens your heart up and it frees you from the victim role. And the same thing with family members, parents, grandparents, your kids, your dog, whatever it is. When you can say thank you for truly being in my life, even the people that have crossed over,